Ash Noble here. Welcome back to another stream. Today I am doing my top 20. Well, when I say my top 20, it's basically 20 bounce tunes that I like playing in my DJ sets. So you'll know about maybe a week ago now. I can't fully remember when it was. I did a stream and it was my top 10 favorite bounce tunes that I like playing in sets. And when you come and you sort of think about, what's your favorite at the moment, what you love in playing, sometimes it's really hard. And sometimes there's like such a good tune that you really do, in somewhat, you think it does in a lot of sense, it does. It deserves a chance on the list, but then there's another tune that just overpowers it and just is that slightly bit better, for whatever reason. And if you watched the last stream, you'll know that there was a couple of artists in the last stream where I could have said about two of their tunes, and I had to sort of pick one. So what I thought I'd do is I'd give you guys just kind of like a list of 20 tunes, kind of like top 20 that I love playing in sets. They're not my favourites, but it's like 20 tunes that I like playing in sets. And hopefully, if you are getting into the bounce yourself, or you're looking at maybe, for some new music that you maybe want to play in your sets and stuff like that, then this is a great stream for you. So I put them sort of in order as, opposed to number one being the one I enjoy playing the most out of this list, and number 20, I suppose, is the least most. And what I'll do is I'll sort of explain why I like these tunes, and obviously information on them, if there's information that I know. Again, some of these tunes I don't actually fully know what label they're on, and I do apologise here about the mobile. Let me just, I'm gonna take it off charge. Just hopefully it'll hold in there. Yeah, so I don't know everything about like every tune. Like some of the tunes I don't actually know where the label is. I think some of them might just be sort of like, signed to a DJ's USB stick or something. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll kick off. So like I say, number 20 will be my least favourite, and then number one will be the tune that, I obviously enjoy playing the most out of this list in sets. So number 20, we've got Danny Ward. We've got Moving to the Beat. Now, this is a remix of the classic Shire, Moving to the Beat. And it's everybody's moving to the beat. The music makes me wanna move my feet. Yeah, I'm no singer, but it's a classic tune, and he just takes a classic really and just makes like a clubby sort of bounce version of it. So you had the Shire, Let the Beat Hit 'em, and then you had the Happiness. It was by Happiness by Sound Design, and they kind of did a little bit more of a sort of like clubby, almost a little bit like an hard housey, trancey, even maybe sort of vibe to it. And Danny Ward has kind of done like your typical bounce donk version, and he's called it Moving to the Beat, but the original is called Let the Beat Hit 'em. And the sound design one is called Happiness, but the sound design and all of these versions, they contain the same vocals, the same melody, and sort of it's just a remix of that Shire really. And you can get this, I do believe, on Acceleration Digital. So if you go onto Acceleration Digital, you will be able to go ahead, get this tune for yourself, blast it in the sets. It goes into a pretty nice drop, and it's just got that classic feel to it as well. So get it for your sets, most definitely. Number 19, we've got Scott F. Now, what I've tried to do in this list is, if I'm using an artist, is to only use him once on the list. So this was a guy who's done a couple of songs, that about three, maybe four songs that I actually like, and it was kind of sort of thinking and which one do I like the most. And I gotta say, when it came down to the end of it, and when it came to the bread and butter of it, it has to be Scott F with his remix of For an Angel. And but he's actually called it For a Lover. And you'll know the classic Paul van Dyk, For an Angel. And then there was the Rachel McFarlane that did her version called Lover, and it had vocals over it. And I found a lover for the first time in my life. And Scott F has just done like a retake on that tune, and it's just a really good tune. It's belting, it's banging. It just has that classic Paul van Dyk sort of melody in there from the For an Angel, and the vocals that are just spot on. The only thing I would say about the tune, and probably one reason why I put it quite so low down on the list, is that I just personally think that the tune is a bit long. It's a bit of a long, lengthy tune, and it kind of does get a little bit repetitive, which is I suppose why I put it like so low down in the list, because it kind of feels like it just does a lot of the same thing, but it goes on for a while. But nevertheless, it's still a belting tune. Get yourself onto Bounce Heaven Digital and get yourself this tune, because it's still an absolute belter. It remixes and reworks a classic really well, and I personally really like it myself. It's something that I do enjoy playing. It's just sometimes that length does put me off, and especially when I'm putting a set together to play in a nightclub, because when you're in a nightclub, especially with me, I like to play as many of my favourite bangers as I can, or the tunes that I'm enjoying at the moment. And if I'm thinking, right, there's a 6, nearly 7 minute tune here, especially nearer the 7 minute, it starts making me think, that's 7 minutes of the set gone just on one tune. When I can try and mix in a nice sort of 3 to 4 minute tune that just crams it down a little bit. But yeah, that's Scott F For an Angel. You can get it on Bounce Heaven Digital. Go and buy it, check it out, support the artist as he's making some other bangers. Coming in at number 18, we've got 1 and 2 with their remix of Dancing DJs, Right Beside You. Now, I've got to hold my hands up, and I've got to say that I don't actually know where you can purchase this tune from. I got given a 1 and 2 folder. It might have possibly been a folder that come out as a free download. I'm not entirely sure. But I have a folder called 1 and 2. It's got loads of their remixes in there. And the Right Beside You, the remix of Dancing DJs, Right Beside You, is it's in the folder, and I love it. It just represents a classic, and it's actually come onto this list because I think it was last week I heard a version of the Right Beside You, and I hadn't heard it for a very long time, and then it reminded me that I had a version from 1 and 2, and then I put it in a mix the other day that I was recording, and then it just made me realise how much I actually love the tune. So I'm not sure where you can get this from, sadly, but I'm sure if you maybe search it up online, you might be able to find something if it ever did get released. If not, it might just be an unreleased tune that I have, and if so, I'm sorry. I got given a folder, and I got it like years ago. When I think when I very first started DJing, I actually got the folder when I got my first pair of Dexter CDJs. Coming in at number 17, we've got Critical Mass with their remix of Divine Inspiration, The Way You Put Your Hand. Now, again, I do apologise. I'm not sure what label this is on. I think, again, I got it. I actually got some music given to me from a friend, and he had a Critical Mass folder, and he shared a link with me, and the tune was in there. It could be a Critical Mass tune that just, it got released on a USB stick or something, or something he just released himself. I know he does release his own stuff that don't necessarily always go on to somewhere like Bounce Heaven. So it might just be a case of something that goes on to the Bounce Heaven or something like that. It might just be actually on his own USB stick in itself. But it's an absolute remake of a classic, the Devine Inspiration, the way you put your hand, which I own on vinyl. I've always loved the tune. It's been right there as a classic of mine. I like the piano in it. I like the vocals. It's just absolutely fantastic. It was just amazing to hear and to drop it in sets as well. It's a bit more of a scousey sort of tune, which the Right Beside You is as well. They're a little bit more scousey as opposed to Donkey, but you can get away with putting them in a bounce set. Coming in at number 16, we've got DJ Jimmer Like a Rainbow. This is available on Bounce Heaven Digital, and this is a remix of the classic hardcore tune from Recon and Mandy Edge, like a Rainbow. And I always loved the hardcore version. When I was, deep into mixing my hardcore, I did like bringing in Like a Rainbow. I like the vocals, I like the tune. It was always a tune of mine that I always loved when I was doing more of my hardcore stuff. So when I found out that DJ Jimmer was doing a version Like a Rainbow, and it sounded so good when I heard the preview of it, it was just something that I just had to get. You know what I mean? When it came out, so I had to get it, and I put it in my. I put it in my sets, and it just absolutely goes off. So I just enjoy playing it so much. And like I say, you can get this on Bounce Heaven Digital. It's not actually all that old either. It's only a matter of like maybe 3-4 weeks old now. But it is just an absolute belter, and it's just something that you just want to get yourself. You just want to get yourself. It's a tune, innit? Yeah, what can I say? Coming in at number 15, we've got D-Generation with their remix of the classic Force and Styles Heart of Gold. Now, this tune, who doesn't remember and who doesn't love the classic Force and Styles Heart of Gold? And as a matter of fact, if you start this tune off from the breakdown as well, it makes a really good intro tune. And I like to sometimes start with this tune because it's just something that really sets the night. You start your set and then instantly that, and then that do do do, and then all them like strings are coming in, and that like little do do do, and then you've just got that like you have a heart of gold. It just actually really is just a belting tune, and it feels so good. It feels good, and when you play it just there's nothing too heavy about it. Doesn't go into no wacky drop, which, don't get me wrong, I love my wacky drops, and I love a tune that takes you on a bit of a different journey. But this is just something that you either like finish up on, or something that you start off with. And it'll just set the tone. It'll just really nicely finish a set, or it'll just really nicely start a set. And it's a good tune. What can I say? I absolutely love it. Make sure you go on to Bounce Heaven Digital and get this tune. Get it bought and play it in your sets. Coming in at number 14, we've got Devise with his remix of the classic happy hardcore tune, Techno Wonderland. Now, a lot of people have like slated the bounce scene, and they've slated Bounce Heaven, some of the hardcore heads, for why you're ruining these classic tunes. But I don't actually mind them. And I think in some sense, when you someone like me who started off, very much so heavily mixing hardcore and loving hardcore and doing hardcore sets every week, live on Facebook and God knows where else. you know, when you come over to the bounce scene and then you can just hear these they're almost like the same tunes but with a little bit of a different feel to them, you know, and it just makes a change as well to the, you know, everyday chart tunes that are getting bounced, and I just think, you know, something like this is just, you know, and I like it. It really gives you that classic feel. Then it goes into like a really retro arcadey section, and it just really makes you think of like arcade games, and, you know, a little bit like Pac-Man, you know, them kind of games, and, you know, inside an arcade and all the machines that are making, you know, going off and making the beeping noises. And he's just done quite a cool sort of like version of the Techno Wonderland itself. And that's why it had to be on the list. So coming in at number 13, we've got Cheese and Heads Up with their remix of the Darren Styles Switch. Now, I like this because what they've done on the drop is they've made it switch like loads of times, and it goes into loads of like different bounce drops. So you've got like Russian donk drops, and, you know, loads of like different twisted drops, and then it mashes up and it goes into the classic tune "Got to Get Busy" by Big Bass, featuring, I think, is it Neil or Nelly something? I can't remember who it's featuring, so I do apologise. But it was like a classic house tune that took the piano riff from Playing with Knives from Bizarre Inc. And it's like, you know, we got to get busy. And it goes into that, and then it sort of builds back up, and then it switches and goes back into another different drop. And it's just one of them tunes that are doing so many different things, and it's capturing your eye. And, you know, you drop it in midway through the set, and it feels like, oh, you're really twisting it up, and, you know, you're really bringing something to the set. And it just does it for me. I like it. It's good. And it has a really good feel to it, so I'm quite happy with it. And I used to have I'd still have it on a disc, but sadly the disc has gone a little bit ruined and scratched. But I had another version of Switch that was a bounce version. It was just more or less like the original, but with a donk instead. So this one kind of switches it up and adds, you know, a bit more of a feel to it. And Cheese and Heads Up, they've done an amazing job. Coming in at number 12, we've got Pitch Invader with the remix of Born Slippy. Now, I really like this because it's got a really nice bass in it to start with. And then the breakdown is just like Born Slippy, and it just sounds so sick and cool. And then it builds up and it goes into like a rolling sort of like side trance bass. And then you've got all the like shouting, lager, 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 and it really does. It's you know, a really well put together remix of a classic, and, you know, you can just put it in, and again it'll be one of them like, oh my days, Born Slippy, what a tune. And it just does something like that to me, which is really good, and I love it. Oh yeah, by the way, the Techno Wonderland, if I didn't mention, you can get on Bounce Heaven. The Cheese and Heads Up with the Switch. I think it might have been a free download. I think it was a free download from SoundCloud. I don't think it was on a label. And the Pitch Invader with Born Slippy, I'm not entirely sure what label that is on. Again, I got given a folder, and it had some tunes in it essentially, and I grabbed it. I think Pitch Invader himself put like a folder up, and it had some of his tunes in it. But I got it for free. That's all I know. The Real Bass Booty Babies at number 11 with their remix of Played Alive. This I can't remember whose remix this is, but it's a remix of the Real Bass Booty Babies with Played Alive. I think it might be the Groove Control remix. It could be. It might be Groove Control. If I'm If I'm right, it could be Groove Control. Again, I do apologise. I don't know what label this has been signed to. I actually got it off the Donkhouse Records YouTube channel, so that's where I ripped it from there because I just really like the sound of it. And at the time, I was just coming back to bounce, and I was kind of like, oh, where do I go? What do I get? I didn't really know so much about Bounce Heaven back then when I got this tune, but I always love it and I always like to play it because it's got a really nice breakdown. So I'm not sure where you can get it, but search it in. It's there on YouTube and you'll probably find info on where to get it, but I'm pretty certain it is the Groove Control remix. I might actually be able to find out for you. Played alive. Total One. It might actually be Total Control. It could be. Yeah, it's Total Control that have done it. So not Groove Control. I was nearly right. I was there with Control, wasn't I? It's just Total, not Groove. Yeah, Total Control. Search it up, listen to it, play it, love it. Coming in at number 10, we've got Shanks with his remix of the classic DJ Jean, The Launch. Now, I really like this tune because it sounds so unique to the original, but then it also goes into like a real sort of like Russian, it goes into almost like a Russian bounce section. It just sounds really good. It just sounds absolutely fantastic, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It feels good. It mixes well. Again, people know it, so when you drop it in tunes, it does a really good thing. Do you know what I mean? It just absolutely kills the dance floor, and it sounds good in clubs as well, especially when that Russian section comes in. You can get this on Bounce Heaven Digital as well, so go ahead and go on that store, get it for yourself, listen to it. Coming in at number 9, we've got Rossi Hodgson with Release Me, the classic Release Me that was quite big on Clubland, and it's Release Me. I love it. It goes into a real sort of like bouncy drop, and it's got like a real sort of like feel good, just makes you want to dance kind of drop. It comes in real bouncy, a bit like when like you get like a real bouncy Makina tune. This is kind of like a real bouncy donk tune, if you get what I mean, and it's got that kind of like just that good feel to it, and it's really good for mixing in sets, and I like mixing it in as well because it just feels so good. You can get this on Bounce Heaven Digital, so make sure you do so. Make sure you go and get it. You'll love it. Coming in at number 8, we've got Elliot with I Kissed Your Lips. Now, this is the remix of the classic happy hardcore tune, I Kissed Your Lips. And when this first came on the store and I saw there was a release and it was called Elliot, I Kissed Your Lips, I was kind of like, is this actually like the Elliot? Is this actually, sorry, the I Kissed Your Lips as in the happy hardcore from that Tokyo, I forget the name of the original group, but it was like a real sort of happy hardcore, and then it was like, I kissed your lips and closed my eyes, take you away to paradise, let everybody see that I love you and you love me. I remember first hearing that on a Top 100 happy hardcore CD, and it always caught me, did the vocal, and I just liked it. So to hear a bounce version of it, I was like, yeah, got to have a nice bounce version of it, ain't you? And I just thought, I love it, absolutely love it. You can get this on Bounce Heaven, and I think actually very similar to the DJ Jimmer, Like a Rainbow. I think it was released on the same week, so I think it was only the matter of maybe like 3 or 4 weeks old. This tune, not that old at all. So make sure you go and get it. Coming in at number 7, we've got Mikey D with his remix of The Boys of Summer. So obviously DJ Sammy did Boys of Summer, and they took it from a group from that dates back even further back that I can't remember the name of. And Mikey D has actually he's done a really good version of this the Boys of Summer, and it's got a really nice donk to it, and it's got a real nice almost like a rave stab in it as well. And it feels good, it sounds good, and then that vocal comes in. It's just a real nice tune to mix. You can get this available on Cheeky Tracks, and I do believe it is also on the Bounce Heaven digital store as well. Make sure you go and get it. Support your artists. Get these tunes. They're absolutely amazing. I love them. Coming in at number 6, we've got Ash M with "You've Got My Lizard." Now, this is about this is I think a mashup of about 4 different songs. So obviously, the main version of this tune is the main sort of like remix of this tune, I suppose. The main, what it's supposed to mainly be, is actually a remix of the oh, do you know what? My mind has just gone completely blank. Do you know what? My mind has gone blank, but it's a remix of Charisma. Let me show you. It's come back to me. So yeah, the main version of this tune is a remix of Charisma. Let me show you, which samples a vocal from a gay guy doing a prank call. That's where I want to show you what I'm capable of. And then it samples the classic riff from Sandy B, "You Make the World Go Round." Well, this remix of "You've Got My Lizard" is about a mashup of 4 different songs. So you've got Charisma, Let Me Show You. You've got K-Class, Let Me Show You. You've got Candy Staten, You've Got the Love. So that's 4 there already. And then you've got Maruo Piccato with Lizard, and it's all mashed into one tune. But the way it's been done is just so clever. So you start off with the K-Class Let Me Show You piano. It builds up and then it drops, and then it goes into that Charisma Let Me Show You, which is the Sandy B Make the World Go Round riff. And then you've got the Candy Staten vocals come in with, You've Got the Love. And then it breaks back down again, but it goes into the Maruo Piccato with the Lizard, and then it builds back up and finishes off. And it's just an amazing little mashup, really. All these different tunes into one, and it just sounds so good, and it's really fun to mix as well, and especially when the Sandy B bit sort of like comes in, the Charisma Let Me Show You just absolutely pelts in, and you just go for it, having a laugh, and having a bit of a boogie and that. Coming in at number 4. Oh, sorry, my bad. You can get this on the Bounce Heaven digital store. I do apologise there. Axel G. Right, coming in at number 5, we've got Axel G and You. It's actually not that old at all. Again, it's probably might be about 5, maybe 6 weeks old at the least, if not maybe a little newer. All I know is that it's a belter. It sounds good. It's a remix of I think the original tune is called "Take It Off," but it's like, and they go hardcore and there's glitter on the floor. It was like a chart tune around 2010 time, I think. I remember sort of being in like year 7, year 8. I remember hearing it. It used to come on the radio, and it was like, "Everybody take it off. There's a place I know if you're looking for a show." And Axel Gia, who is also Euphian, the hardcore producer, just does a really good version of this, to be honest. And it just sounds real good, and he's done like a different sort of style with his tune. Just does a really nice style. Love it. And you can get this on Bounce Heaven digital. Coming in at number 4, we've got Hardy M with Nightmare Bitch. Yes, that's right, I've just swore. Yeah, this tune is called Nightmare Bitch. I think it's sort of done for Halloween. This is very new. This was actually released on the Bounce Heaven store, not this Monday, but the Monday before. And it's a remix of the it's a remix of Nightmare from do you know what? My mind keeps going blank tonight. Brain Bug. It's a remix of the Brain Bug Nightmare, and it's got some like welcome to my world, bitch. You know, welcome to my nightmare. It goes into a really nice breakdown where it's Brain Bug Nightmare. But then it builds up and it drops into something quite heavy, and it's got a little bit of power into the drop, and it just feels good. It sounds good. It's actually spoiler alert. It's actually in my set for the movement this Friday. It's very new. I've only bought this just recently. I think I bought it like probably about a week ago now, nearly. But it's an absolute belter of a tune. It just comes in really heavy. And of course, I just had to include it in the list because, you know, when a new tune comes out and it just takes you like that with something really powerful and heavy, and you just absolutely love it. You know, and I'm hammering it at the moment. You can't not. Coming in at number 3, we've got the Bounce Assassins with Name of My DJ. So this tune, so if you remember in the last stream, if you watched it, I think it was something like number 2 or number 3 was Bounce Assassins, and we did I Want to Be Right By Your Side, and that was the tune that just was better at the time than Name of My DJ. So I had to put Name of My DJ in this list because I still very much love playing it. But you know, like the Nightmare Bitch, there's just a few new releases that have just taken me by storm. But the Bounce Assassins Name of My DJ there was a hardcore tune called Name of My DJ that features it's like a remix of Braveheart. And then it's got like this at the count of 3, I want you to tell me the name of my DJ. It's got some good samples in the tune. It's got a real nice like a hard bounce donk on it, and it just comes in like real nice and heavy, and it just comes in real good. I enjoy mixing it in, and it's just a nice tune itself. It's not too long, you know, and you played it and you think, you know what, I enjoyed playing that, and it is actually really, really good. Really, really good. So yeah, absolutely fantastic of a tune. And like I say, in the list of my actual top favourites, it was going to be either number 3 or number 2. And then these, you know, I chose that I Want to Be Right By Your Side instead, which was crazy. You know. But these things happen, unfortunately. So coming in at number 2 is a new release on Bounce Heaven. And by the way, you can get Name of My DJ on Bounce Heaven. Yeah, number 2 is a new release on Bounce Heaven, not this Monday. The Monday before came out when the Nightmare Bitch came out. And this is Rocket with I've Got Glue. It's a remix with a vocal, Deeper Love. You'll remember the classic house tune Deeper Love. And it's remixed with a tune that I can't remember the name of, but there's been like a D&B version of it. And I kind of, it reminds me of originally kind of like a deadmau5, sort of like a deadmau5 sort of song. I know it was quite a big tune at the time. I think there's been like bass line remixes of it and like D&B tunes. And I really like this tune because in the breakdown, there's like a really just absolutely amazing sort of like breakbeat kick that comes in over the vocal, and it sounds so good, like you would not believe. It sounds absolutely amazing. It's absolutely crazy, and I absolutely love it, and it caught my eye before it actually caught the number one spot. But then I actually bought the number one tune as well, which was also released on the same week. But the number one tune at the moment, I'm just enjoying it more, which is why I've got to put it at number one at the moment, because I'm just loving, I'm enjoying it. But number two is Rocket, and it's called I've Got Glue. Number one, so the number one spot, my favourite tune, I suppose, out of this list that I enjoy playing at the moment, is a track called Get Rockin' by Arcane. And it features the samples from Faithless, Insomnia, and it also features a vocal from I forget the name of the tune, but it goes, I got what you've been looking for, I got what you need. I can't remember. I think it might be called like What You're Looking For or something like that. Classic house tune. And he's just done a really good remix, and he's got this Get Rockin' vocal in there as well. And it just sounds really good. It's just a pumping, bouncy tune. That just makes you feel good, and I'm just loving it at the moment. I'm playing it in sets, and it's blowing me away, and I'm just thinking, yeah, I love this tune. Absolutely love it. So yeah, that is the list of my top 20. Now, there's absolutely tons. There's loads of bounce tunes that I enjoy playing. And I could probably come back next week and make, a similar stroke, a completely different list. My list, will change all the time. But hopefully, the whole point of these is, hopefully, gives a little bit of exposure for the producers and the artists, along with the digital stores and the record labels that they've been signed to. And hopefully, if you are out there and you get into your bounce and you're thinking like, I need some new tunes to mix, and you watch this and you think, oh, that Elliot, I Kissed Your Lips out, I'll give that a try, I'll see what it sounds like, I might buy it. Or again, if any of them that I've mentioned have been like free downloads or something, you can get it, and you never know, you might fall in love with something. And you know what, I watched Noble's stream, and he said, check out this tune, Mikey D Boys of Summer. So I gave it a listen, and you know what, I actually love it, and I play it in my sets, and and hopefully it just helps people out, and I like to share my musical interests with you guys as well. So yeah, I hope you did enjoy the stream. Before we do end off the stream, I do have a little bit of an announcement to make. It's nothing major, but it's quite exciting for me. So today, tonight, I got myself involved in a bidding war. And it was kind of I didn't wake up this morning thinking I'm going to be in a bidding war tonight. So you guys will all know, I've done videos on the channel in the past, that I've got a pair of decks. I've got Numark MDX 500s, and you'll know that I've got a Numark M6 4-channel USB DJ mixer. And the mixer, the CDJs, I suppose, are as well. But the mixer especially, in recent time, has been showing some signs of wear and tear. And I've been after an upgrade for ages. To be honest, I've wanted to upgrade the whole lot. But getting like a Denon Prime or like an XDJ RX, they're like over £1,000. Or even if they're not over £1,000, they're like 700-800 quid. It kills your bank balance, man. So I've been sort of with the intention of thinking, well, the CDJs, they do work rather well still. A few little issues, but nothing that's stopping it's not stopping you from having a mix as such. Whereas the mixer is getting a little bit bad. Some of the volume faders are going. Some things broke off one of an old lead. It broke, and part of it actually fell inside the mixer itself. Part of a aux, not an aux, part of an RCA cable. The little metal bit has actually got stuck in the line in the white line input for the channel 4. The crossfader itself, when you've got it at one side, it's not fully working, and you can still hear, you know, the sound from the other deck essentially, you know, if you and stuff like that. And it just all together, it's just showing like that little bit of sort of like wear and tear. And to be honest, you could fully fix the mixer. You know, you could just put new channel faders on them. You know, you could open up the mixer. You could take whatever's stuck in the ports. You know, that's stuck in the port. You know, you could get whatever's rattling. You know, and you could just get it out of the mixer, and you know, you could just give it a little bit of a wipe. And apart from a few little, you know, sort of signs of wear and tear, you know, you could have the mixer more or less back to brand new again. However, the mixer is a very basic mixer, so there's no effects on it. It's just literally 4 channels, mid, lows, highs. You know, master, microphone inputs, and you know, all your wires at the back really. And then you know, apart from that, you're a little bit limited to what you can do. There's no echoes, there's no flanges, there's no rolling. You know, you can't really get creative with looping as such. So it was kind of one of them where I thought, you know, I could get this mixer repaired, but you know, I kind of do want some form of a little bit of an upgrade. So I think it was either Sunday or Monday. I was just having a browse online and I came across you know, a mixer, and there wasn't too much. There wasn't too long left on the auction, and the price of it wasn't too dear. So I thought, you know, I wasn't certain that I was going to buy this mixer, that I even wanted this mixer. I just thought it looks all right. The description says it's in good condition. It's been hardly used. It was on bids. Like I said, it wasn't too long left on it, so I thought, well, you know, just out of curiosity, if anything, I'll put this item on watch and I'll just keep an eye on it, and then you know, you get doing other things and you know, you forget. And then tonight rolls on, and I get a notification to say that there's about 10 minutes left on the auction. So at this point, I think, oh, I forgot about that mixer. So I curiously went on to the auction again, just to see how, you know, I wonder how much it's gone up to. And it went up to something like just over 100 quid, something like that. And it was something like 102 quid. And I thought, do you know what? It has gone up a little bit to what it was at, but it's not horribly expensive. And I thought, you know what? I do need a mixer, and you know, you can find these, you know, you can find tons of mixers that are on auctions and they're at like 60, 50, 70 quid. But they, you know, they all go up in the end. You know, and I was lucky, you know, you know, to have, I guess in a way, sort of, you know, happen what sort of happened to me. So I was watching the auction, and then I was kind of thinking, do I actually want this mixer or not? And I thought, do you know what, it looks good. It's in nice condition. And then it got sort of towards the end, and I thought, no one's bidding on it. No one's bidding on it anymore. So I thought, I'm gonna just at least go up to 104 quid. I thought I'll go to 104 quid. We'll take it from there. Why not? Um, and then as soon as I did that, someone went to 106. So I thought, right, I'm going up to 100. I'm going up to 108. And then this other guy, you thought he'd try and get one better on me, and went up to something like 112. So I was like, right, 114. Then he was like 100 sort of like 50, 116. And then I was like 118. And then the actual auction itself was like getting right near the end. You know, it was coming to the end. It was, you know, the time was running out. And just right on the last second, I put the bid up to £124 on the mixer. So we got to £124 on the mixer. and then just essentially cutting the story short, you know, part of me reckons that the other guy, if there would have been more time left on the auction, um, that he would have bidded, you know, he would have bidded, and you know, he would have put another bid in. And in all fairness, if you know, let's just say there was you know, a couple, you know, another sort of 5, 6, 7 seconds left on the auction. And he'd have put another bid in, I would have, you know, I would have backed out at that point. I was like, literally, like, right, this is, you know, the last time now. I'm putting this in. This is, you know, I ain't gonna pay any more than that, than the 124. But because it was like right at the last second, I actually won the auction. So I've got a new mixer coming. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I think when it does come, which I think it's estimated between Friday and Monday, and I did, as a matter of fact, I did. Obviously, I did sort all the payment and stuff out tonight, and I did get an email from the guy saying that, you know, it'll be, you know, be shipped out first thing in the morning. So I suppose, because, you know, it's Thursday, it gets shipped out first thing in the morning. There is a slight chance that it could come on the Saturday morning. But the email did say that it would sort of roughly maybe estimate to come more sort of on the Monday. So you know, it's just one of them. You know, will it, won't it, you know, that kind of thing. You know, there's a chance it'll come early. It might, you know, it might just come on the Monday. But to cut the story short, there is a new mixer that is coming my way, and I cannot wait to give it a try. And like I say, when it does come, you know, it is second hand, so we're not going to be like unboxing something like brand new, but we'll do maybe like some form of unboxing stream or something like that. But anyway, that's going to do it. Make sure to like, comment, share, and peace out, people. I got what you've been looking for.